Welcome to the Networking with Michelle podcast, the show dedicated on providing you the how-tos of marketing and networking strategies. Here we believe in the Jim Rohn quote, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Hey everyone, thank you for tuning into another episode of Networking with Michelle. I'm your host, Michelle Gomez. If you're a first-time listener, thank you. And if you are a current listener, plus on my email list, I just want to send a special thank you for taking the time to not just supporting me, but responding to the questionnaires, the surveys that I send, and telling me what type of content you need to receive from me in order for you to be better off in whatever you're doing, whether you plan on writing a book, promoting a book, just better off in your business. And I want to make sure I continue to provide that value to you. Because of that, I have been spending a lot of time thinking, what is the best way for me to do this? And I've decided that I want to make this into a teaching podcast, a strategy and tactical podcast, in the sense that I'm sure any podcast you listen to, whether it's a solo show or an interview-based show, I'm pretty sure you're learning something. There's something that's going to resonate with you, since podcasting is a form of professional development. But I know that everyone can't afford coaching, right? And sometimes you need things broken down for you in the layman's terms. Other times you need things taught to you in order. And you need to find, hey, I can take this, I can put it here, I can put it there. And you're able to get a sell, you're able to grow, you're able to finish whatever you've been struggling with. And I really want to make efforts to do that. And I want to start off this month of August by focusing on how to create a strategy. So this week, in today's episode, I'm going to focus on how to create a marketing strategy, giving you a big picture overview. And then each week, we're going to break it down to social media, content, and then a pricing strategy. The last week, I want us to focus on putting everything together, as well as answering any questions that you can email me. This question can be general. Do you need me to elaborate on something that I've said the prior weeks? Or do you have a specific question to you, your business? And just shoot me that email and I'll be glad to answer it on the last podcast. So some months we have 4 or 5 Mondays, but whatever that last Monday is, I want to take a moment to answer all of those questions for you. So you can shoot me an email, info@michellegomez.com, info@michellegomez.com, and that's MICHELLENGOME.com. And of course, all of that will be in the show notes. I do have 2 announcements. I am part of the Houston African American Bloggers, and we have an online boot camp that's taking place on Saturday, August 6th. And through this boot camp, we're going to have guest speakers discussing copyright, which is very important as a blogger, even video blogs as well, creating offline opportunities, because everyone's trying to grow an online marketing business, but we also got to keep those face-to-face opportunities in mind as well. How to launch your first book, as well as telling story through video. So we've been working on this for several months. Very excited for this day to come. Tickets are $30. You can buy those tickets at gumroad.com/HAAB Bootcamp 2016. And you will receive the recordings of the bootcamp, because it is a 4 hours, Saturday, August 6th from 10 to 2, if I'm not mistaken. But I will have those details online. Also, if you're in the Houston area, I'm going to speak at the Small Business Intensive on Saturday, August 20th. I'm going to do a quick speech on strategic partnerships. So I'm really looking forward to that. Probably going to stay there for the whole thing, as we're going to dive into a vision planning and goal setting. And I think doing a talk on strategic partnerships will really serve well for the audience. So if you're in Houston and you're looking forward to that, tickets are also available. I think those tickets are $250, but I also have the link available in the show notes. So with that being said, let's get into how to create a marketing strategy. So For those of you that do know me, I do a lot of consultation. I actually prefer consultation because I'm able to go in, listen, and provide recommendations on the spot or within a matter of days. And what I've realized is that everyone wants to create a strategy, but they don't know where to begin. So I want to give you the information, show you how to break down this marketing process, break down the concept of a strategy. And then once that's broken down, give you the information in order for you to build your own marketing strategy for your business. So first of all, what is marketing, right? We see it everywhere, especially with social media. If you're an online marketing person, marketing is everywhere, from banner ads, Facebook ads, Google ads, the Chick-fil-A billboard, the car billboard, radio commercials, podcast sponsors. Marketing is everywhere because marketing is all about the activities that allow you to create, communicate, deliver, and exchange your product or service that provides value to your audience. Okay. So it's a set of activities that allow you to create, communicate, deliver, and exchange your product or service to your audience. Okay. So who is your audience? Your audience can be anyone at this point. Your audience can be internal. It can be your team members. And I think sometimes we forget that. You still have to market to your team. You have to bring your team into your vision. Okay. But that's a whole nother episode. But most of all, we think of our audience as our clients, partners, whoever is buying our product, maybe a consumer, or whether it's B2C or B2B. And then, of course, you have your general mass audience. So when it comes to marketing, there's 5 Ps. 5 Ps that you have to remember. You have your product, place, price, promotion, and people. Product or service, place, price, promotion, and people. So you can't do anything. You can't sell anything to anyone. So you have to have people. And I think sometimes that goes overlooked. So wherever you decide to put your product, whether that's online, place, whether it's online or Walmart, price $2, $250, or $2,000, promotion, Facebook, podcasting, standing outside with the sign, doing the hand spins, all of that's a form of promotion. And your hope is not a strategy, right? But your hope is that wherever you are, wherever that product is, regardless of the price and how you promote it, it's going to come across someone's eyes. It's going to come across people. So those are the 5 Ps of marketing. And you have to understand those Ps, because once you understand that, you're able to figure out, how do I want to mix this together? Okay. There are 3 things that will allow you to be successful when it comes to marketing. 3 things. The first one, understand your customer. Number 2, create customer value. And number 3, build a customer relationship. You know, I'm all about relationships, right? It's so important that you do this in this order, because lots of times we want to create products that we want, that we like. And yeah, that may be true. Maybe you have a problem with something and it's a good idea. But if you go out to the masses and no one's agreeing with you, or no one can see your vision, you have a problem. You don't have a customer, let alone anyone that you need to understand, right? So it's very important that you understand your customer, what they need. How can you solve their problems? And I think that's where you do your market research online, Google, get in these Facebook forums or these Facebook groups, do panels, talk to your friends. Like, hey, can I rap with you for about 30 minutes and just ask you some questions? I'm not selling you anything. If you have an email list, can you throw a survey out there, see what the response is? Can you jump on the phone with someone and be like, hey, I noticed you didn't buy from me. May I ask why? Or can I ask you these 3 questions? Understand your customer. And once you're able to extract that feedback from your customer, that's going to determine the type of value you can create. And usually that value is going to come into some type of offerings, right? It's going to determine how you need to package your product, package your services. If they pay for $300 worth of services, do I give them 3 things? And if they pay for $500 worth of services, maybe I give them 10 different things. What is that value that I'm creating? And sometimes we think about, well, I need to take away something, instead of 3 things, they only get 1 thing for $100. But instead, think about, what can you add? What can you add to the offering? What can you add to your product and service that's going to enhance that value, that's going to solve your customer's problem and get you to profitability, which we're about to get to next. So the third thing was build a customer relationship. So the other day, I sent an email to Opt-in Monster. I've been looking at this company probably for the past 6 months, going back and forth. And Opt-in Monster, it's one of these, how can I call it? It's a SaaS product, I believe, where basically you go to someone's website and it's a pop-up, but you pay for it. And it's supposed to be highly recommended. So I've been looking at it and it's kind of like, I know there's a lot of free ones out there. So do I really want to pay $49 or $100 for this? So I been on their website and I was looking at it again, and they have a list of all of the integrations, and my email service provider is ConvertKit. And I didn't see it on there, but I know ConvertKit is popular and it's known within the online marketing space. So I was pretty sure, but I didn't want to spend $100 on it and it's not compatible to ConvertKit. So it was around 6:00 Eastern Standard Time. I shot them an email. Hey, do you sync with ConvertKit? I really wasn't even expecting a response until like the next morning. I think I'm going about my business, either take a nap or do whatever. And within the hour, they responded. And it's like, yes, we do sync with ConvertKit. And here is the documentation on how to set it up. And I was like, wow, that was quick, because 1, it was after hours. And then 2, they could have said, yes, we're compatible with ConvertKit. But they went above and beyond and gave me the document on the instructions on how to set it up once I do purchase their product. And that's what it is when it comes to creating value and building that customer relationship. Because as soon as I sent that email to them, to Opt-in Monster, I initiated the relationship, right? And they responded. And not just with a yes or a no, but they went above and beyond on sending me the instructions on how I need to move forward, which helps me because once I do give them my $100, I don't have to worry about going back to the website or looking for the instructions. Oh, how do I set this up? And possibly sending another email. That's how you build a relationship with your customer. You're adding that value, but even with that, how can you build trust? How can you build rapport? How can you go above and beyond what they need to maintain that trust? And this is really important because it also depends where this customer is within the buying process, right? So I feel like I can go on and on with that. There's a lot of things that can initiate the customer relationship, but half the time you don't know whether or not you have a relationship with the customer until they contact you, right? But in all actuality, you probably had a relationship with the customer because they went to your website, because they're checking out your social media profiles, because they were referred to you. You're just not aware of that relationship until they initiate contact with you, phone call, email, chat, Twitter, messaging, whatever you want to call it, or until they buy the product for you. So you're building a relationship. Now, strategy. So I know I'm dropping a lot, but I'm hoping this is helping. Okay, I hope if you're in your car, keep driving, but you're gonna have to go back and listen to this and take some notes. Okay, so strategy. So what is a strategy? And this is where people kind of get a little confused. I'm gonna try to break it down the best way I can. A strategy is the action plan you create that has customer value and it allows you to achieve a profitable customer relationship. So I mentioned that a few minutes ago. Strategy is the action plan you create that adds customer value and achieve profitable customer relationship. So Opt-in Monster. they added value to me. He answered my question. 1, 2, he answered it within an hour. So he was timely. He was efficient. 3, he provided me the instructions without me even asking it. That's the value he provided me, right? That value enhanced my trust within the company. And now I've given them my $99. Okay. Granted, I'm only one customer, so I can't say if they're profitable or not, but they've gained a new customer because of that. Because if I was on the fence before, those 3 things was like, hey, I'm going to rock with them. I like what they're doing. Let me try it out. So a strategy is an action plan you create that provides customer value as well as gaining a profitable customer relationship. Keep in mind, value is all about exchange. It's all about exchange. And in most cases, we want the currency, right? We want the money. We want the dollar, especially if you're a business. Okay. So when you're creating a strategy, the first 2 things you need to consider is your positioning and how are you different? And some people call positioning your unique selling proposition, your value proposition, whatever you want to call it, positioning. And how are you different? I know I used to kid, I'm like, well, I'm different. I'm working with me. I'm the differentiating factor. It may be. You may have that winning personality. Rock with it. Okay. So ask yourself this. How do I want to position myself? And what makes me different? So for example, how do I want to position myself? Well, I want to be the go-to person for networking, similar to George Fraser. And George Fraser, he's a popular African-American man who brought the concept of networking from corporate America to the African-American community, I want to say in the mid-70s, 80s. And he's just been rocking it. Has several books, has a conference, and I've had the pleasure to interview him. Episode 2, I believe 2 or 3, I could be lying. But I definitely have the pleasure of interviewing him on this podcast, and I'll have that linked in the show notes as well. Okay. So how do I want to position myself? I want to be the go-to person for networking. What makes me different? Okay. Well, I've served in leadership positions. I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I'm a podcaster. Wrote my book on networking. I've been consulting for nonprofits, corporations, entrepreneurs on the importance of building relationships. Okay. Those are things that make me different and that actually help me position myself better. So ask yourself those 2 questions. Now with the strategy, you cannot create a strategy without a target in mind. Can't create a strategy without a target, a specific goal in mind. So let's break it down. So what's the goal? We'll say the goal is for me to be a networking thought leader. So what's the strategy? For me to create content marketing, content creation, I need to start producing content. That way I'm able to share my insights to the world. Okay. The strategy is the idea. The strategy is, do I have the concept on how I'm going to achieve this goal? So we have the goals, we have the strategy, and then next we have the tactics. Lots of times people think they can interchange the word strategy and tactics, and you can't. Those are 2 different meanings. The tactics are, what action will I take that's going to allow me to execute against the strategy as I accomplish my goal? So what are my tactics? I'm going to write every day for 30 minutes. I'm going to have a weekly blog post. I'm going to submit to at least 5 publications each month. Submit a guest post to 5 publications, Entrepreneur, Huffington Post, Social Media Examiner, every month, right? And then I'm going to write a book. Those are the tactics that's going to help me create content and accomplish my goal of being a thought leader. I hope this is really making sense to you. I've worked with dozens of people, people in different entities, from solopreneurs to small business owners, nonprofits, as well as corporations. And I think sometimes this is the hardest concept to wrap your head around, defining the strategies versus the tactics. Your strategy is the idea, and then you put the action plan together to back that up, right? So you have your goal, you have your strategy, and then you have your tactics. And all of that will be covered in your marketing plan. So Michelle, how do I create a marketing plan? Well, I'm glad you asked. And now I've done all types of education, business classes, did MBA for one semester, dropped out, got a master's in marketing. I've been doing business plans, marketing plans for a long time. And when you're in business school, they want you to create these 30 to 40 page business plans. Now, I've been out for a while, so I don't know what they're doing today, but I'm assuming it's the same. And sometimes all of that's not necessary, right? And I'm going to tell you the 6 things you need in a marketing plan to get you going, just to get you going, okay? And this is really good for beginners, or if you feel like you're going to transition or make a pivot, this is perfect for you. Now, if you're growing, you're scaling, or you have a special type of product, you may need a full marketing plan with some details. But these are going to be 6 things to get you on your way, okay? So number 1, focus and niche. Focus and niche. What are you going to focus on? What's your industry? When they say niche down, what's your industry? What are you going to break down? What are you going to specialize in? And I think this is really important when it comes to marketing. Marketing is so broad right now. Online marketing, digital marketing, so broad to the point that I'm even thinking about narrowing my focus from social media in general to just focusing on Facebook marketing, because Facebook is so deep. Facebook has so many features that aren't even really brought to the attention to the general public, right? I study this, so I hear about a lot of things, but it's so much that I don't always implement it. So what is your niche? If you're in finance, are you going to focus on banking, on the front end, operations, investments? If you're health and fitness or wellness, are you focusing on nutrition? What are you going to focus on? What's your niche? Number 2, we mentioned this earlier, positioning and differentiation. What's going to make you different? How are you going to position yourself and what's going to make you different? Number 3, your target audience and your ideal client. Now, a lot of people say, well, who's your ideal client? I believe you have to know and understand your audience in order for you to get to your ideal client, right? And when I coach clients all the time, they're like, okay, well, I'm trying to figure out my ideal client. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, let's back up. Let's take a step back. Who is your target audience? Because once you can pinpoint your audience, you know where to find them. You know what events to go to. You know what distribution channels to entertain online. So understand your audience and then narrow it down to your ideal client. Number 4, your brand story and messaging. This is something I'm working on right now as we speak. Pick 2 to 3 stories that will help you identify with your audience, with your ideal client. Those stories that are going to allow you to connect. Those stories that can allow you to write better than you ever written before. That's going to allow you to speak, write that book. That's going to resonate to the audience. And your messaging, right? So when you do your elevator pitch, when you give your spiel, what do you do? How do you change people's lives? How do you transform people's lives? What are you going to say? And once again, how will that resonate with people? Number 5, content and new media. So content, what are you going to create? Blog posts, podcasting, Instagram images. What type of content are you going to create? Are you going to repurpose the content? And how are you going to distribute it? Right? New media, social media, which at this point is the internet. But, are you going to be on Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Snapchat? Going to do a podcast, your website? How are you going to incorporate this new technology to your product or service, to your business? And number 6, a budget. Got to have a budget, right? Especially now, Facebook, they're like, you got to pay to play. So yes, you can throw those links and your videos and your content out there on your business pages. But if you want to increase that awareness, that leads to engagement, that leads to a conversion, you got to pay to play. So what's your budget? Whether you're printing out business cards or running Facebook ads, you got to create a budget. Okay. I know this is a lot of information, but I really believe this is good stuff to lay the foundation, or even if you pick that one nugget that resonates with you and be like, hey, let me go back and touch up on this. I really, really believe it can help. Also, keep in mind, like I said it earlier, if you have any questions, I know this is just the first episode, But if you have any questions when it comes to creating a marketing strategy, next week is social media strategy. The third week is content marketing strategy. And the last is going to be the pricing strategy. If you have any questions on that, shoot me an email, info@michellegourmet.com, and I'll be glad to get that on the show, either on the next show or definitely the last show of the month. I think it's the fourth Monday and for the month of August. And I just want to serve you the best way I know how. I want to do a special shout out to Shamika Williams, always looking out for me with the iHustle t-shirts. Definitely check her out at myhustletees.com and designthelifeyouwant.com. I recently bought the iHustle t-shirt. I love it. Been getting a lot of compliments with it. And let's see here. Oh, can't believe I forgot this. Actually, something I'm doing differently. The template, all of these notes, it's going to be in the show notes, and you can get a free download of the 6 things you need in your marketing plan. So please go to michellegourmet.com and you can check that out. You can grab your freebie, the 6 things to include in a marketing plan. Want to thank you for tuning in. Always remember, a personal connection leads to an influential network. Thanks for networking with Michelle.